Stand up, America, and see this retina of God's eye. In the distance I perceive to see this bond is unshakable, because Jerusalem is the geographic center of all things, both political and spiritual. God made a blood covenant with Abraham in Genesis 17, verse 8, saying, I give to you and your descendants after you the land in which you are a stranger, all the land of Canaan as an everlasting possession, and I will be their God. The land boundaries are recorded in Numbers chapter 34, verse 1 through 12. God's word clearly speaks to Israel in the Torah in Genesis 12, verse 3, saying, I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you. God also warns that in the end-time judgment, in Joel 3, verse 2, he says, I will gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat. In Hebrew, that's the valley of judgment of Jehovah. And I will enter into judgment with them there on account of my people, my heritage, Israel. The nations have also divided up my land. The United States, as one nation under God, is founded on a constitution based on biblical law. God wrote the Bible through Jewish prophets, selected by our Creator. In Romans 15, verse 27, the New Testament writer Paul reminds all believers that if the Gentiles have been partakers of their Jewish spiritual things, the duty of Gentiles and Christians is also to minister to them, the Jewish people, in material things. Today, many U.S. joint Christian and Jewish organizations, such as the Christians United for Israel, support worthy charities in Israel. This spring of 2012 marks the 64th birthday of the sovereign nation of Israel, the only democracy in the Middle East. The center of world events is constantly focused on Jerusalem, the pupil of God's eye. She belongs to Him. And so we echo Isaiah 62, verse 1, where God says, For Zion's sake I will not hold my peace, and for Jerusalem's sake I will not rest, until her righteousness goes forth as the brightness and her salvation as a lamp that burns. This concludes the series, Israel Through the Eyes of a Camel. I'm hoping you had as much fun visiting in film as I did bringing footage from my unforgettable first visit. This is Elsie Rist, contributor to the Ephesians Project. Shalom.